Okay, can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah. My name is Uldis Šalajos, Latvia. I have two questions. One, what kind of role, specific role, would be from Baltic states to NATO, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, to strengthen NATO? And the second, when will be possible to try to, let's say, maybe divide the competency area, profiling, to the NATO countries, to make some countries, NATO countries, as experts? Because if we all countries try to do all things, then it's not so good. But maybe we can try to divide competencies and make experts.
Could you do me a favor and repeat the first part of your question, because I didn't quite get it, sorry.
Okay. The first question was what kind of specific role would be for Baltic states to strengthen NATO?
Okay. Well, let me start with our Baltic friends and NATO members. They are members of NATO, they are respected members of NATO, they are staunch allies in the NATO framework. I already mentioned Lithuania, but Estonia and Latvia are also extremely active NATO members. I wouldn't say they have a specific role. In NATO, all nations are equal members. Of course, some are bigger shareholders than others. It's crystal clear that the United States of America is by far the biggest shareholder. But as you know, NATO decides on the basis of the principle of consensus. And there, Tallinn and Riga and Vilnius, they have as much of a voice as Brussels or London or Ottawa, for that matter. So if you ask, do they have a specific role? No, they do not have a specific role. They are respected, distinguished members of the alliance. On the second part of your question, I do think that you have a good point there, because basically, if I understood you correctly, what you're saying, not everybody should do more of the same. True, we should try to find what I call a niche for where a country is good at and can bring added value to bear. That does not mean, as far as NATO is concerned, that some nations will say, or are going to say, I'll do only, to put it in military terms, only Air Force, and another will only do Army, and the third will only do Marines. But if I mention Marines and I mention Special Forces, I can very well imagine that some nations will specialize in Special Forces. Let me give you another example. The Czech Republic, for instance, is specialized in CBRN, in the biological nuclear weapons and the fighting. And they have even a CBRN battalion. So looking for niches is important, and I understand you're from Russia. In the NATO-Russia relationship, we could do the same. You have close to Moscow the Domodedova Center, where Russia plays a very important role in a huge project with NATO, which is on counter-narcotics and which is training Afghan and Central Asian personnel in the coordinated fight against counter-narcotics. That's what that center, Domodedova, is good at, and that is, I think, another good example. That would be my answer to your question.